There's a. That's gonna stand in Washington. We got 0 emails. All right, we're gonna call this forum to order here. Tonight we're here to discuss, we've received some concept drawings from Labella. That's exactly what they are. They're concept drawings. So we have something on paper to look at. And they're 100% able to be changed, which I would imagine we will be doing. As I said, they just give us something to look at currently, so we can work off of that. I had a sign-in sheet at the front door. If you haven't signed it, you can add your name to it. You'll be given approximately 2 minutes to voice your comment. Your comments will be noted. If an answer is available, we'll give you one. If there's remaining time, you'll be able to ask a second round of questions. We want to try to keep this event about an hour and a half. This is one of many. It's not just one event, and then we're moving forward. Everybody's comments, everybody's suggestions will be brought into consideration. All right, Matt, you got the list?
Diane Wapnick is number one. There's a microphone up here that we're asking you guys to come up.
No presentation.
Well, the presentation we were given at the town board meeting, we assume that you guys probably watched that presentation. We can go over it with you. There are plans over there on the table, so.
Thank you. Maybe one for Madeline.
So microphone above
Yeah.
screen. See your butt
Where?
concept?
Over there.
Diane, right here.
You just have to turn it on with the switch.
Okay, I'm Diane Wapnick, president of the Little Line Partners Historical Society. And I'd like to read you a letter that we have actually submitted once before to the town board. This is a little revision of that letter. The Little Line Partners Historical Society notes that the town is currently discussing the design of a new town hall building and requests that the office of town historian be included in the conceptual plans with work and record storage space allocated for the town historian. In its capacity as town historian, the Little Line Partners Historical Society does not currently have a secure, climate-controlled space to protect the historical town records in its possession, which include historic photos and town records dating back to 1772. Nor does it have the benefit of office space for computer research, printing, etc. The town historian office should have at least 3 4-drawer locking, fireproof filing cabinets and an available desk/table for workspace and meetings. Ideally, there will be display areas for exhibits, such as rotating exhibits, and documents, or the lobby could be utilized for this purpose. Thank you for considering this matter. Sincerely, the Little Line Partners Historical Society Board.
Thank you.
There is planned storage for the historical society in student life. It's just to let you know that that has been something that was noted, and we have storage areas that we're hoping to have in the downstairs to keep all the questions.
Thank you. I was just going by what I had seen.
No, okay. Keith. You want to speak?
No, I'm just signing in, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all I wanted to talk about was grants and bonding, because we have a bond on this building. I'm not sure if everybody remembers. That won't be paid down until 2045. It costs about, I believe, it's at about 56 a year, 56,000 a year that we pay on this. So my concern is that I can't imagine what bank would give us a bond of this magnitude, given that we have this other bond. We were told that when we first started thinking about town hall in town, which I fully support, and I like the design a lot. I think it's cute, it looks farmy, and it's like us. But, I'm really worried about this bond idea. I think that grants, and I know that I think you have a grant writer now. That it's a slow process. It takes years sometimes to get these grants. It would have been great to have a grant to pay for the engineer who designed this, because they would have, I'm assuming that came out of fund balance, but we have to be careful of our fund balance. We need 6 months in there for emergency money. So that concerns me, but I don't want to rain on the parade of this, because I remember Don Bartles coming into my office and saying, I wish we could have a town hall in town so that people would come to town, pay their taxes, talk to Madeline, come in and talk to the secretary, and then go and buy something at one of the then stores we had. Which, a vibrant town center is, an urban planner's dream.
Just to clear something up, the payment for the Labella did not come out of the fund balance. It came out of our general municipality fund. We've only paid $36,000 year to date for what you say.
What line?
Came out of the buildings and grounds,
Grounds.
correct? Yep.
Nate,
Gene.
Gene, sorry.
I'll pass it now.
Alice,
Well, first off, we had $36,000 in our buildings and grounds budget, and we had an extra to pay for this?
Maybe turn the speaker on.
Oh, is it not? Oh, there you go.
Yes, we did, because we didn't have a buildings and grounds guy for a short period of time, so we didn't have to pay a salary.
Okay, I was so hoping to get an update and like a presentation for this. This is a public hearing. I would have thought that you'd.
No public hearing, it's a public forum.
A public forum, okay, my mistake. Do you have a timeline for this?
We do not yet. We're in the early stages right now.
So
That's why we put a concept design up, and that's what we have, concept design right now. So we have something on paper. We've never had anything on paper. We have a concept design. Labella is frozen right now. There's nothing going in, there's nothing coming out. We have a concept design, so we have something to look at. We have so the townspeople can look at.
Okay, great. I assume it's on the website?
Yes,
Wonderful. Do we have a concept on how we're gonna pay for this?
we haven't even gotten total costs yet. We haven't, because this is a concept design. We haven't finalized the design yet.
Preliminary cost for the
It's
concept?
about $700 a square foot they're averaging right now without going out to bid.
Without going into it. And then hopefully I'll find the total square footage, and this is a one-story building, correct?
One-story building with a basement,
With a base.
yes.
Okay. Well, my concern is really how we're gonna pay for this. I mean, I know we just did a bond that is not completely paid for the high school renovation, not at the high school, but our school budget. We're paying for that. I'm very concerned with how we think we're gonna pay for this and the timing of the whole thing.
Have a hand in the back.
I'm sorry, I got here late. Can I sign up to speak?
sure.
Absolutely, we'll write you
Yeah,
down.
I got you
Yep.
there.
Thank you.
Gary?
Yes.
Is it on?
Okay, so first of all, I think that Dara buying the property was a great idea in town. I think that getting rid of the dilapidated building. It's on.
Talk into it.
Like that?
Yeah, I don't usually need trouble projecting, so. Anyway, so I think that Dara did a great job acquiring the two pieces of property, and I think it was really forward thinking. But I'm curious if you have consulted any type of urban planner, city planner on the actual benefit of moving the town hall into town? Because I know in concept, it's a great idea. I love the concept, but is that really the best thing for us to do and for us to be spending $5-6 million on at this point? Would it be better to put affordable housing units and more shopping in those two spaces and figure out a different location for the town hall? Just wanted to understand like what experts have you consulted to decide that this is actually the best idea for the town?
Well, the comprehensive plan, which we redid not too long ago, one of the main concerns was bringing the town hall into town, and that was made by our citizens. So I think it's the people saying that they would like to see our town hall moved into town. So, I mean, I think that those are the best judge of our town, and those were the people who said that downtown is the best place for it.
Okay, and then I would like to also ask the same question that Dara and Alice have asked is how you plan on paying for this, how you plan on raising $6 million on a town that is already, the taxes are going up every single year. And so I think that's a huge concern for everybody here.
Well, I mean, it is a concern, but we also, where Brian said, we're just trying to come up with a plan and a look. And whether or not the town would like something like this, that's all we're trying to come up with right now. And you guys, you know, like, then we'll find out a cost. It might not even happen, but you know, we have to have something on paper that the townspeople like to get a price before we can even get a price. Does that make sense? No?
Not 100%,
Well-
but I understand where you're coming from.
Ultimately, whether this project goes through or not, it's gonna be up to the taxpayers, because it'll be out to vote for the taxpayers to vote on.
Right now, we're just trying to see if the townspeople like the design that we are conceptually trying to put together for a more functional town hall. So our court's not in the basement with the police department, you know, it's not a very nice place to go in, like, we need new facilities. It was a trailer, it was a temporary building, it was only supposed to be out there temporarily.
I totally
The
understand.
assessors are in a trailer, this is a need
I
for this
totally
town.
understand the need for the field to be redesigned. Have you thought about not putting all of the different units in the same building? Have you thought about putting the police and the court somewhere else and the town hall somewhere else? I mean, like, I just don't, I feel like everyone is focused on this one idea that the town hall needs to be in that one spot because that land was purchased. There are many other options for the town hall in this town. And I just think that I would like to see a more comprehensive look at what is actually the best spot for this town hall and how we move forward. Is that actually the best spot for it?
I believe so.
Okay. And that's one person's opinion, not like an urban planner or a city planner, or someone to actually come in and take a look.
I'll take it. Next, Gail.
No, Mellow from Pine Plains. I want to start off asking everything that I've heard this year about trying to revitalize the look and the economy of our town has to do with what I'm going to call the four corners and how we must start to build again. That delaying this and moving it down the road and endlessly talking about it might have been okay 10 years ago. In the 10 years I've been here, I've seen the town go down and down and down. So I am thrilled to see movement ahead on a town hall that could really begin the process of revitalization. I think it is exciting to do that. I think we have to really work carefully with an architect to make sure that we get sufficient sort of bang for our buck, that we really make sure this has everything that we want in it that we can afford. You know, so that's any home buyer, anybody who's renovated their house and lives to this. And so, you know, I could say something. So everyone has opinion. My opinion would be that it looks a little bit like the Napa car part, Millerton, you know, just a little bit. But, you know, everything that looks fabulous really costs a lot of money. So I'm just saying that maybe it's a little bit more spruce up there would be fun. I have counted, and again, I'm not an architect. It seems to me that there are 5 entrances and exits. And I'm wondering if I'm looking at the design correctly. And if so, maybe that's a place to think about economizing. I think one of the things that's exciting about creating a new town hall is that you don't really do this unless you think you're going to revitalize the town, unless you're going to see it as a place we can grow from. And so moving forward, I think moving forward would be so tremendous. It's the first step in sort of the next generation of pine plants, which I think would be fabulous. And as chair of the CAC, I would just have to say that I noticed that there were a lot of mature trees around this building. And it would be really nice if, as we work with the architect, the town board works with the architect, we think about how to make this a place where it would not just be a town hall, a place for the town board and the courts and the police, but also maybe for a Saturday farmers market, to have other events. I mean, to what extent is there a concept that we would build not just parking lots, but parks and keep trees if we can? And I know each one of those things is also a money issue, but I think the more creativity would be great, and to think about how to continue the energy I feel in this room and the desire to move forward. And believe me, to get to this point, I think it's a big deal. I think you plant a flag and say, we're going forward. And so I'm excited about this. I'd like the Taj Mahal. I don't think we're going to get it. It does sort of look like Pine Plains. Maybe we could think differently about some of the things, but I think in general, the most important piece is moving forward at a pace we can afford by really engaging what we want the future to be. Thank you.
Ethan. And I do know some of the entrances and exits are for judges and police, so they need to be able to exit safely. So I think some of those are for that purpose.
Like Jerry, I'll never need this microphone again in my life. I have a couple of concerns. I saw that there's a room specifically for the state police. I know the state police are able to use the town hall currently as it is. Hugely in favor of that, wonderful. Do they really need their own separate space? If other police agencies outside of their own police force are using the town hall, why can't they use the space that's designated for the Pine Plains Police Department as they come and go? Just a thought. My second point would be, I hope the basement space, which it seemed to have been alluded to in by the engineer from Lobellas, that the basement space may be able to be expanded into. I would ask that whatever the town board does with this building, to make sure that that is something that can be expanded into easily in the future, including an elevator shaft. Because if you go to expand the building in the future, say there's a big boom in the town, or we have a $38 million piece of property for sale right now that could be developed. We should be able to expand easily into that. Third point, audio and visual capabilities. I know that that's not something that's directly reflected on these plans. This is just space. But whatever you do, please consider getting a better AV system for the town hall. The system that we have now, we had Stan for 10 years donate his time, and I'm very grateful for that. We switched to a system during COVID that is less than adequate and ideal. Building a new town hall, this will be your opportunity to put in something a little bit more comprehensive. And it doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be, it should be as cheap as possible and dummy proof so that anybody can use it. And my third point, or excuse me, my fourth point was, that Gail had mentioned, grants, and she kind of spurred me on in my mind. One thing that you can look at that New York State is very much willing to pay for is green buildings. The feds may not be willing to, but if you look at the capabilities of the town hall in regards to solar, energy efficiency, there are other municipal buildings. I urge you to look at the Phoenicia Library as one example. Their building burned down and they basically rebuilt a green building and they got handed a lot of money to be able to do that so that the town of Shandaken didn't have to spend a lot of money. Those are my thoughts.
Rachel.
Rachel Rainfield here, also speaking for the Little Nine Partners Historical Society, Pine Plains. And wanted, I had not seen until just now the exhibit case there, wanted to lend my voice to having exhibit space and space for the Historical Society. We've got great old pictures, we've got great old postcards. We can put maps up of what this looked like before. We can put pictures and maps up of where the railroads were. We can put old tools up. Things that people are gonna wanna see, and we can rotate it. And it's such an important part of the town that I urge you guys to make sure that there's exhibit space dedicated for us. Right now, it looks like it's exhibit space and a bulletin board. Exhibit space to really showcase Pine Plains history. And again, space for us to be able to, people call us all the time and say, I want to donate you this, I want to give you this. If we have an office space that we can go into, have a place for people to bring things, it would really make a big difference. So, thank you.
Scott.
People know I can go on for a while with this. And mine is mostly a policy issue in that, I've worked for a town hall for over 40 years. When I was a town supervisor, I began to put $10,000 a year aside. The succeeding supervisor took the money I had put aside and bought that monstrosity out a mile and a half out of town, or a mile out of town. It was heartbreaking to me. However, it does come down to dollars and cents. I just did the mortgage calculator, a $5 million mortgage at some extremely low level, which the town can maybe get at 3%. It's $250,000 a year. $250,000, approximately every $16,000 is a 1% tax increase. That would be a 15% tax increase just to build a town hall. However, I fully support building a town hall and getting it in town, and I will be optimistic. And maybe you can even employ Gail, who raised tons of money as a college president, to come up with grants and people who will pay for it. But I want people to be realistic. It's not realistic if we're paying it. There's nobody that's going to vote for a 15% tax increase. So we need grants. We need people to donate money. The other thing that I would say, policy-wise, is what's most important. We have a vacant PAX. We have a vacant Grange Hall. Nasser has told me that he can't renew his lease. We're gonna have a vacant pharmacy. We have a vacant old library. And it's all because we haven't done sewer. Sewer is where we need to spend the money first. And the other thing is, I think that it is inspirational to dream about what a town hall should be and where. And I agree with the town hall or with the town board trying to go through the exercise. I just want people to understand the dollars and cents that we're talking about. Ideally, somebody would do real negotiations with the Catholic Church, who have said that they would love to do affordable housing on their property. We need affordable housing. If we did it out there, 40, 50, 60 units, They would need to do a septic system that you could connect the town sewer to. It just makes sense. And so with that, again, I thank the town board for going through the exercise, but recognize their limitations. You don't have the dollars until you come up with the dollars. It's a nice discussion.
I'm Catherine Howard, and thank you, Board, for your efforts in trying to improve our town and make it healthy, and everybody else who is part of that. And I see many people that I know that are part of that. And this is a bit of a repeat of what Scott has said, and this is lovely. And it may be really needed in some ways. But for us to thrive in the town, to attract businesses and to attract or to be able to build low income housing, we do need a septic system. And that septic system is the central part of being able to do low income housing, to be able to attract businesses, to be able to attract people, which will bring in tax money, which may help with the funding of this. It seems that our two issues is septic and a grocery store more than it is this at this time. I'm not saying ever. We also have some really nice empty buildings here. I don't know if you guys have thought about looking into retrofitting some of those empty buildings. But they've got eyesores and they've been sitting there really sadly. And they're gonna continue to break down. They're gonna cost money to pull down. So I think there are some ways which we can order what we're gonna do for this town in the order in which our needs, our absolute needs are. And I know that everybody's been working on the septic and it's been but it hasn't gotten resolved. And guys, we have to resolve it. That's the point. And it's gonna be maybe uncomfortable. I don't know. But I think we have like a couple of different avenues that we can pursue. And not pursue the most uncomfortable one until we have to. But the bottom line is we have to get it resolved. Or else none of these other issues that I believe we've been talking about for quite some time are gonna get resolved. And then we become an ineffectual town and board, and we kind of look pathetic. And we don't have to. We don't have to stand in our own way and become a successful or more successful. So that's all I have to say. Love you madly.
You're good. Right.
I agree with many of you with regards to the things that we need. Septic, things of this sort. We're here to talk about this tonight, and I just came prepared to talk about this. And just walking in here, as soon as I saw that, just an idea, this is conceptual, right? We all believe that, look, probably like the town hall center of town. We want to do what did Sarah Jones and I preach on the planning board for years? The town board, density matters in small towns. We need infill development. Of course, we accept with that. But let's just talk about the library for a second, right? And concept is really a lot. When you just look at this is busy. This is really busy, right? Maybe we need to back off and take some things out of here. There's 2 rooms right back there that could maybe house the historic society, whatever, right? You have to get crafty. Crafty with money. When I was supervisor, I bought this building. I can tell you some stories right now about this building in 2 minutes. There were a lot of hands in the building of this building. And a lot of hands, I'm telling you, a lot of hands in the building of this building. And I'm not talking with hammer and nails and wrenches, I'm talking about people with their ideas. That were not in or not on the library board and not in the Odd Fellows. Everybody had something to say. Pretty soon, the lights grew, a lot of them. There was one man in town who just picked out the curtains. He's not involved in either one of those groups. My point is this. Wherever we get to this someday. Pick the designer. Get some ideas and narrow it down, and don't let everyone in the town put their hands into the project. It will all of a sudden becomes a massive snowball, and you know what's gonna happen when that happens, right? Price is gonna go up. Well, I bought the water department. We owed $245,000 to $300,000. I think it was like $245 on the water department. All the people in this room, you know who you are, thought it was high for buying. Well, I haven't smoked weed since I was in high school. That was 45 years ago. My point is this. I went and I got bonding. Now the project is a lot smaller than a big town hall, right? It was to pay off $245,000 debt or the note on the water department. Because our water budget at that time was about $35,000. And we were spending $35,000 a year on the same water line every single year. So what I did was I went to Greene County Bank, gave us a cheap loan. I think we've already maybe paid that note off. Maybe when you were there after me, right? And the fund balance that I used to pay that note off is already back to where it was, if not more. So there are ways around that stuff. This is a big A. This is a big A. As Scott had said, so that's something to think about. But you have to be crafty. And then I think that's pretty much it. I won't talk to you.
Better. We're talking about the future of Pine Plain, and we're talking about having more forums like this. And what I just want to ask is to get the word out more for a greater diverse group of people thinking about the future of Pine Plains. So I ask everyone on the board, the supervisor, everyone sitting here, when there's another forum like this, invite more people, put it out there more. Like Ethan, I get my information when there's a meeting in town from Ethan posting it on social media. That when you're talking about something this large that involves everyone in the town, which could potentially raise everyone's taxes 15%. We need more people in this room. There should be chairs there. There should be people standing there. So everyone's in this room job to get more people to the next forum for this.
Would anybody else like to speak a second time around?
I'm Dr. Trenaro, and I just first of all wanted to say you got to start somewhere. So thank you for starting the process. One little thing, although it's probably not little to Diana, is I wish we would take more care in how this building is situated and how it harmonizes with the Graham Brush House. I see a little parking lot stuck between this building and that, and it's already stuck up against goes to the supermarket and then dumpster farm. So please, can we give that building some love and look at it as a holistic project? But separate from that, I just want to say, like, I read a lot in our lovely paper and in the notes for the town meetings about the gloom and doom about the economy of Pine Plains. There are a lot of us who are actually working really hard to revitalize this town. And yes, we mourn the loss of the supermarket. But look at what Jamie Hamill's doing with the Hudson Company. Look at the Stissing Center, millions of dollars were invested in revitalizing that building. Look at the restaurants in town. So I'm positive, I'm optimistic. I think that there's a lot of reasons for us to invest, but please, first septic, then this.
Does anybody else, would anybody else like to speak? Sir?
I don't think I need a microphone. I would just like more information about the thoughts about the basement area, these staircases going down. And, I think it really is important, to know what plans are for that and have a plan. And I think there should be a basement and there should be an opportunity for expansion there when we're planning this whole big project.
I just wanted to reinforce what Trevor said. I look around the room at the extent of the gray hair here. Where are the young people?
Working.
I mean, I do, I'm sorry, Scott, now I'm gonna piggyback off that. We are in a lot, this is something I thought about, is we're in the library building. When you have a forum like this, you know, it would be nice, I have children, I have a wife who would like to be here, is to coordinate with the library in some capacity to have it open during the duration of a meeting, so you could potentially dump your kids off down there and attend the meeting. There's been some meetings I've been to where, you know, a parent would come with their kid and it's distracting. Kids are great, but it was a bit distracting where it's like, we have this space, but we also have the space underneath where we can, you know, think about getting a greater group of people here and have it be a time where there's no time to have people with kids. There's never a right time, but we could help facilitate help for them to come here.
I just think to reiterate what Trevor said is that don't have a newsletter. Sarah immediately did an incredible newsletter and you always knew what was happening. And that is a huge problem that we don't have. I know that we posted this on social media the first time anything had been posted in a really long time. So I really, really beg you to start a newsletter so that people can know what is happening in the town, when the planning board meetings are, when the ZBA meetings are, when these special forums are, what is going on, because otherwise you're talking to the same group of people, it's the exact same group of people that shows up at every single meeting. So I really think the onus is on the town to start.
It's not a mystery when the meetings are, the planning board.
It's a mystery.
Oh, no, we made it at the town board, we had it before, but the planning board meets regularly on the same Wednesdays. We meet regularly on the same Thursdays, the CBA does the same exact thing. It's not, it's also it's the public's job to also go out and seek out some of this information. Like in minutes, come to meetings, nobody ever comes to meetings, I'm off the board as of tomorrow, or you know what I mean, like, so. But I don't see these faces like come to these things and you guys are like, oh, it didn't happen, I feel the public doesn't try to get this information, they want to have it just handed to them, and sometimes you have to go out and actually look for it.
Every single representative that works for us sends out newsletters every month or every week, and this town board has not done it in 2 years, and it is driving with me. So start sending out newsletters, tell the town what's going on, everyone shouldn't have to beg and, to search and scratch their way through the abomination of the website. Start sending out a newsletter, use social media, get into the 21st century. Well.
Oh, with the social media is people argue with you for absolutely no reason on it, and it's.
All right, enough. Does anybody else have any questions? Can you just come up here, please?
Jane Valentine Chase, Pine Plains. Just a comment about the architectural style. I agree with, I think Dale said it looked a little bit like a auto parts store. I think perhaps if we were to go through with this, just make the roof a little more neat. This.
Can't hear you. Turn the switch on and then aim it at your mouth.
Oh, sorry. Okay, now I'm supposed to this. Okay, so like Dale says, it looks a little bit like an auto parts store. If you could increase the angle, the peak of the roof, I think it would just be a lot more attractive. Again. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any comment, questions? Okay.